evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. I'm Emanuel Rose, and I'm joined today by Thad Barnes, who is a very experienced marketing professional as well as general tech professional. Well, you've been in the agency world for 14, 15 years, Thad?
Something like that. It feels like forever. So yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, it's been a lot of iterations since then. Your current company is called Epoch Digital Marketing. Get that
Digital
right?
media. Yep.
Yeah, digital media. Gotcha.
You got it.
Cool. So, what kind of clients are you working with right now?
We're pretty diverse. We're across the board. We've chosen not to necessarily specialize in one specific vertical. So we work with e-commerce clients. We work with contractors, plumbing, heating, HVAC, all that kind of stuff, roofers. We work with attorneys. So we're pretty diverse. We work with other agencies as well. So.
All right, I got you. Yeah, I know. It's sometimes it's really hard. Like all the marketing acumen says you got a niche and be an expert in one area. And then there's some of us marketing guys that cannot possibly accept that advice that we would give our clients.
Yeah, it's one of those things where referrals tend to happen, right? And so everybody knows somebody, and eventually we just get diversified because somebody will tell somebody, hey, these guys are great, and you can run Facebook ads or PPC campaigns for just about anybody, and so that's what we do.
Yeah, I'm with you. You probably think the same, which is the fundamentals of marketing are the same no matter what industry you're in or selling to. Even though everybody's like, well, that doesn't work in my industry. You get those prospects that are like, you have to be an expert just in concrete or just in house cleaning, but we know that's not accurate.
Well, unfortunately, with the advent of AI and things to help us learn really quickly about a vertical that maybe we don't have experience in, but I think guys in our world have a lot of experience across the board. I mean, I've been around a long time. You've been around a long time, so I've worked for a lot of different large corporations and gotten a lot of experience in many verticals. So we can use that in conjunction with AI to learn really quickly about the nuance of a specific niche.
Yeah, and the ability, right, to crawl best case or market leaders, right, and understand what they're doing, not just on their website, but in their social mix and their email marketing. I mean, it's really easy to survey best case in an industry, isn't it?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So, explain a little bit about what you've seen in the last, say, 18 months as the AI bubble and trend has overtaken marketing.
Yeah, a couple of things, right? At first, we saw just a ton of content being pushed out there, and everyone thought it was great. Oh my gosh, I can use ChatGPT to push content and do all this great stuff. And then, of course, we saw the kind of the pendulum swing, and Google and Facebook and other platforms starting to say, "Hey, we don't want a ton of AI generated content. It sounds too, AI." And so we've seen the rise of a couple of specialties. In particular, prompt engineers that have gotten really good at being able to use AI without it sounding like AI. And then we've seen people that have become really adept at taking generated content with AI, tweaking it a little bit, sometimes even with different AI, and making it sound extraordinarily human, so that everyone was so worried that AI is going to replace all the copywriters, and AI is going to replace all the ad creatives and media buyers. And what we found is that those people are still extraordinarily needed, because they can take that AI and manipulate it into being content that isn't just AI generated. So those are the two things I've seen over the last 18 months that in my world have really affected the way that we do business.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's still for the average person or the new person coming into this is the prompt engineering. And in some respects, I tell my team, I'm like, I'm never going to be a good prompt engineer. I just will. I refuse to think like a computer because I think for me that's not where the juice is. But uh, I do love that what's becoming a discipline now of how to get output that is unique and holds the voice and the brand and the tone for whatever content you need.
Yeah, it's very interesting, and it changes. It seems like almost weekly what is working and what is not with prompt engineering. And so as the AI evolves, we have to evolve. And I don't want to say that I'll never see humans go away. In this field, that could happen someday, but I don't think it's anytime soon. Really, at least with the current versions of AI that we have out there.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So one of the products that or services that you have that is really fascinating to me is this intent search follow kind of product. What do you call that one?
We call it real-time search leads. We also call it website search leads. So it's
Nice.
kind of two different verticals, but utilizing the same general technology. And we do use AI in this as well, but not in a traditional sense of prompting with ChatGPT. So it's more along the lines of following people as they're using the internet, using Google, using Bing and other search engines. So it's very um, I don't know. It sounds very Big Brother, but the way that we use it is actually people have opted in, so it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. And so what sort of amazing results have your clients gotten? One case study to explain it to us.
Sure. So one of our biggest case studies is actually a diabetic company that utilizes social media, I would say, to find people that have diabetes equipment that has never been used. Maybe they purchased it and it just never got used, and then they buy it, and then they resell it in a various fashions. So they were doing a lot of Facebook ads. They were doing PPC campaigns because people have this stuff and they need to get rid of it and they don't know what to do. And they were doing moderately successfully well with Facebook ads and PPC campaigns. And what we did is we took our technology, which allows us to find people searching for things on the internet. We start following them around once they've consumed a couple of pieces of content. So they've gone to relevant websites, maybe two or three. They've scrolled some pages, things like that. We then take their digital marker and we go to big data and we buy their contact information and we deliver that to a client in real time. In this specific case, we were
Looks like that has a little break in the internet. Again, I'm talking with Thad Barnes from Epic DM, and we're talking about how he's got a real-time search leads product that is able to follow people who have a specific search they've done on the internet, and then eventually able to deliver email marketing and able to deliver ads to them after they've shown that real time interest. So, Dad, welcome back. No problem. You were just talking about the ROI that you had gotten for the digital or for the diabetes company.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No problem.
So essentially, I think you were starting to allude to it, but not only can we take that and create custom audiences and then deliver ads very specifically to the people we know are looking for that rather than having Facebook or Google test those creatives. We know exactly who to show it to, and we can do that. So we increase their ROI just in ad content many thousands of percentage points, and that sounds outlandish, but it's actually true. In some cases, over 2,000% return on investment. Um, but more than that, we can also take that contact data and then start relatively cool instead of cold email campaigns to these people. So maybe they haven't heard of your brand. Maybe they didn't come to your website when they were searching for these terms, but they're going to get an email from you, from your brand, just with an introduction. You can start, kind of a warm introduction. You can start with a hard sell if you want, but generally a nice, easy introduction into your brand because you know that they want what you have. And we're seeing, even with not extraordinarily well copywritten cold emails, upwards of 40% open rates on these emails. So even with, dare I say, AI generated emails,
Yeah.
we're seeing massive open rates, and then huge click through rates if they're well written, and then drive them into your funnel. So just staying multi-channel, staying omnipresent with these folks, because you know exactly what they're looking for and you've got what they need.
And I think in my interpretation of marketing and sales, that's a really nice union of somebody who has searched for something, hasn't necessarily purchased it, and you're helping to deliver your option to them very quickly. And it helps for that person then to buy it and check it off the list and move on to whatever's next. So I'm really impressed with the concept and execution of this product. So I think it's a nice offer and a great use of the AI.
I think one of the most fundamentally interesting things about it to me is that everyone knows if you go to Nike.com and you just poke around their site, you're going to start seeing Nike banner ads everywhere. One
Sure.
of the coolest things is that if I'm Adidas, I can find the fact that you went to Nike, and now I can show you banner ads for Nike, even though
Yeah.
you went to Adidas. That's the big brand thing. But it's so cool to just think about how that works and how you can become the brand of choice when they've never even heard of you from the get-go. So
Yeah, and the way you described your pricing models, and we don't have to say specifics here, but the pricing models are very affordable for any business doing $150,000 a year in sales and more. So it's not a big barrier to entry. So I appreciate that you're focused on small business as well as mid-sized business as well. So
that was exactly our thought process when creating this product, is that we aren't a direct competitor to some of the larger companies that provide close to real-time data, because we don't want to be a direct competitor to them. We want to be something completely different, and as an add-in to what you're already doing, or a lower point of entry.
yeah,
So
it's an awesome supplement, and it's closely aligned with this other product that you offer, which is the anonymous visitor profile. So is it pretty similar, or what? How does that work?
it is basically similar in the way that we acquire the data. But the difference about this is that we put code in your website. So if you're driving 1,000 people a month or 5,000 people a month to your website, and you're trying to get them to opt into your funnel, but we all know that the conversion rate's pretty low on that. uh, what we can do is put a piece of code on your website that grabs their digital marker as soon as they hit your website, and then we go and purchase their data from these big data warehouses. So that part of it is the same, but the great thing is that, again, this is a supplemental thing, but they've come to your website, and so now they know who you are
Right.
without any introduction, but now you're going to send them emails as if they had, essentially opted in. And so again, you want to be, kind of gentle about it because they didn't specifically opt in, but they know who you are. So the open rates on those are even higher, 50, 60% and up. The click rates are insanely good,
Nice.
30, 40% in a lot of cases, because they know who you are. So they've seen that email and they go, "Hey, I was just on that website." We're getting about, we're getting about 50% of everyone that comes to your site. We're able to deliver their contact in real time. And when I say real time, I mean within moments of them, not even 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And so you can start an email campaign through automations using AI and other tools, to reach out to them immediately, and they already know who you are.
Well, and we know that the sales attrition rate is that if you don't reach out to somebody who's interested within 5 minutes, your likelihood of making a sale declines exponentially. So that's what I love about this product is that it gives you a chance to actually capture the person before they move on to another vendor or before they move on to some other problem and have forgotten about what they were even doing on your website to begin with.
Right. Yeah, speed to lead is a huge thing, especially what we found in the contracting space.
Yeah.
So HVAC, plumbing, roofing, all that kind of stuff. The speed to lead is critical because so many of those folks need a water heater right now, or they need
Yep.
roof repair immediately because a tree just took out a side of their roof or whatever. If you don't answer, they're calling the next guy and they're hiring that guy. And so if you can already have their email address and their phone number within seconds of them being on your website, you can have your sales force reaching out to them immediately.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And then you're able to integrate these tools either through Zap or some other process so that it goes right into CRM.
We do. We currently integrate directly with High Level, or Go High Level, as it's lovingly called. We're working on direct integrations with other sources like HubSpot and Pipedrive and ActiveCampaign. Um, but in general, we can deliver it, like say, to a Google Sheet, and then you can use Zapier for any connect that comes in, and then push it into a Pipedrive, a HubSpot, Salesforce, any of those.
Nice. And then the other one that I'm interested in is what's the magic act that you're doing with Google My Business or Google Maps or whatever it's called these days?
Yeah, Google Business Profiles. Yeah, they change the name every 6 months. Goodness gracious. Yeah, so we also have and we use many methods to do this. It's not a single method, but we can take any company and either get them a Google Business Profile immediately, or if they already have one, start integrating to it. And we can get them ranked in the Google Maps 3 pack in roughly, we tell people 90 days, but it takes us between 30 and 60 days, guaranteed. And everyone says guarantee, and usually what they mean is if we don't get you there, we'll work harder. We actually have a full money back guarantee. It's written in our contract.
Nice.
We've ranked if you can imagine this, the competitive nature of New York and specifically Manhattan. We
Sure.
have a florist currently ranked in the Google Maps 3 pack in Manhattan.
They must love you.
They do. They do a huge volume. And again, this is a low point of entry. So our goal was to help small businesses like, single owner florists, med spas, just kind of anybody that can't afford to spend $5,000 a month on Facebook ads.
Yep.
We all know that, nearly 70% of people that search for something locally in Google, about 70% of them click in that Google Maps 3 pack. And so we can get you in there. Within 30 days, you're going to be getting more phone calls. Within 60 days, you'll be in that Maps 3 pack, generally speaking. And if we can't get you there in 90, and if you're not happy with the service, we just give you your money back.
Love it. That's good work. That's cool. What's just give me one little technique that you guys are using that you can share with us.
One of the biggest things is people think about backlinks and they think about driving traffic, and they're using potentially low quality backlinks. What here's a little. This is some secret sauce. We actually
Thank you.
drive traffic to YouTube first, and then use that to drive to the profile, because YouTube can handle hundreds of thousands of incoming requests at a given time. So without giving too much away, we
Yep.
create a kind of a network, a pyramid, if you will, of websites and structure that drive traffic to each other. And YouTube is a big part of that, because we can create thousands of backlinks that are all high quality, stable backlinks. They'll last forever. And then we drive all of that up through other Google properties. And that's the other secret sauce I'll give you is when you're doing this, you want to use as many Google properties as you can, because the more you use, the more Google likes it.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for dishing a little bit for me there, Thad.
You bet.
All right. Well, I want to wrap up with you and the crystal ball and tell me what is marketing going to look like in, let's say, the year 2026.
So 2 years from now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the real time stuff is going to become a lot more prevalent. I think that you're going to see, if you've seen, what's that movie with Tom Cruise, where he's in the future?
Is that Minority Report?
Minority Report.
Yeah.
where you're just kind of walking around and they're showing you ads because they already know who you are.
Yeah. I'm kind of Neuralinked and
Neuralink.
Minority Report. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think that's going to become a lot more prevalent,
Yeah.
things like that, because AI is becoming so good and so powerful. Again, I don't think it's necessarily replacing people tomorrow, but I think that the ability for advertisers to reach target audiences without having them opted in at all, I think that's going to become kind of the next leap in what we're going to see in marketing, where they already know what you like, they already know who you are, and you're going to see that omnipresent advertising across the board. So, for those of you out there that are watching this, get in early on this type of marketing, because what we're now calling traditional marketing, I think, is going to diminish rapidly.
Yeah. Wow. I think you and I are aligned on that, and it is interesting to kind of see how you dig into that wave and feather in as the transition happens. So, well,
I think that that's the biggest thing that I take away from the last 2 years, is that you've got to stay on the forefront. If all you're doing is running Facebook ads for clients and you're successful, that's awesome. But if you're not pushing the boundaries and you're not moving ahead, and you're going to miss, you're going to go all in on something with AI and it's not going to work out. That's the way business goes. But you've
yeah.
got to keep trying those leading edges, or you're going to get left behind.
That's the pearl there. I appreciate that, Dad. I want to make sure that you let us know how we can get in touch with you if somebody wants to have another conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. You can read the best way to get me is with email. I'm very active online, so I have a team that grabs everything that comes into my email box and makes sure that I see it. So I'm Thad at epoch.dm.com. That's EPOCHDM.com.
That's
Uh,
awesome. Yeah, go
and
ahead.
if you want to call us directly, you can call our direct line at 775-402-9913, and we're there all the time. That actually comes directly into our CRM, so I will get notified. We'll all hear the phone ring. So if you like the phone call, which I can totally understand, please feel free.
Well, Thad, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with me this morning, and appreciate your insight.
Emmanuel, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.